What is good, everybody? Welcome back to episode 6 of the Moon or Dust Show. Ash, how you doing, buddy?
Morning. What's going on, man? Yeah, I can't believe that we've been doing this for six consecutive weeks. We
Yeah,
can
dude,
we
it's
some
great.
consistent boys out here.
Yes, sir. I'm just sharing. Moon or Dust Show is live. Yeah, dude. People seem to really like the show, and let us know in the chat if you like the show. I have to remember during the stream to say everybody hit that like button because it does help things go. So if you're here at the beginning, hit that like button. I'll remind you later on. We got a ton to talk about today. Let me share my screen. We could just chat. Anything exciting? Any good mints happen this week? It felt
So
kind of slow this week. I don't know.
this
Is
was
that, is
this
that
was
just
a
me?
slow week. This was definitely slow. There wasn't a ton going on in terms of mints. There was that Mahaya project, which is on Polygon, low supply, that had mint issues. But besides that, I mean, there really wasn't too much. There was that Teddy's project, which we're going to talk about, that the founder CEO left. There was that Flares. There was a Flares project that was from the Quantum Cats artist.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we are planning to talk about that too. But yeah, super slow week for new upcoming stuff.
Agreed. There was a couple projects on Solana, but yeah, let's jump into stuff. Let me get my screen on screen. Boom. Let's do the top one. Let's try the top one. Let us know in the comments if this is too small. We're trying out some new layouts. Yeah, we got a bunch of people in the audience. What's good? Sup, guys? First, what's good, Josen? Dav. Got a bunch of people in the audience here. Boom. Get them all. Get them all on screen. Get them their screen time. Cool. Somebody here saying I love the show. Appreciate it. We love you guys watching. Cool. So there's feels like there's some blue chips coming back. How you feel about? First of all, we got Doodles making a comeback. What do you think the reason is behind this? Do you think it is speculation? Do you think there's leaks about something, or do you think people just they like the art?
Yeah, so there's a couple, right? So there's Doodles, Moonbird's got a pump, Kaiju King's got a pump. I think it's like people are just looking for whatever legacy project that they think can pull a Doodles or pull. Okay, let me re-say that. People are looking for whatever project that's legacy that they think that can pull a Pudgy Penguins. Like
Agreed.
that's the way that I see it. Is people are like, oh, this is going to be the next project to pull a Pudgy, and admittedly, I think a lot of the FUD has subsided away from Doodles because I think during the bear market, people are a lot quicker to be mad, but when their other bags are pumping, they're happier, right? So it's like, I don't know. I feel like I mean, they've also been putting out content. Like I think we talked about that last week, but if
Yeah.
you go look at their Twitter, like they have been posting. I know that their CEO did an interview with Thread Guy, and they show signs of life. Whereas before, I can imagine that people are mad when they see a project hasn't tweeted in 6 months.
Well, remember, I think it was in the Discord, one of the founders said, we've added enough value to the Genesis PFP and we're done giving value. And that just caused the floor to head straight down because you're pretty much saying hey, there's no financial incentives coming up for you guys. So that sucked. But yeah, it's cool. I like that they're turning things around. I would have never guessed, to be honest. I mean, I guess I could have, but yeah, I just thought, Gen 1 was done and they're just going to work on their art. They're going to work on their that Gen 2 with flow and everything with the assets. So I like that they're turning things around. The other one you just mentioned was Moonbird. Yeah, this is some wild price action. I did manage to get into these. I have a tweet here from, let me pull it up, from Zir here saying the birds are back. Has Kevin Rose finally decided to sell Moonbirds to the next player so that they can take the trajectory of the flightless birds. And then he has the pump here. So I guess there's speculation around an acquisition. Nothing's been announced yet. I think Moonbirds made some tweets, but it was basic tweets about random stuff. But yeah, dude, people seem to be, this is typically what happens. The insider info goes around, people get a position, they could take advantage, they dump. And then there was a nice correction and it came back. It's back to, there was some sweeps this morning. Yeah, it's already back to 1.8. Some sweeps this morning that went on not too long ago. Like, dude, literally when I woke up, yeah, we were down to 1.4, and now we're all the way back up. Just a few sweeps going on. So some interesting action on Moonbirds. And then the third one you mentioned was Kaiju Kings. I've been hearing, I know when they killed the token, I started hearing like, oh, they're killing a token for acquisition, which makes sense. So I'm hearing the acquisition rumors. That'd be cool, dude. I've been saying for a while they need a Luca. They need somebody fresh to come in. I know Dots like had a kid and stuff, and yeah, dude, I love this brand so much. I'm wearing my Ape hoodie today. I have a Kaiju hoodie. I always wait. It's on the back of my phone. Boom, rocking the Kaiju brand. I love Kaijus, dude. I want this brand to come back and take off. Like I bought a Genesis Kaiju. I posted about it. I literally bought it because I like how it looks. I paid above floor. He has 3 chains. I like this project. I want it to come back.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why are acquisitions bullish for floor price? Why is it that when projects are being teased or there's rumors that a project is going to be acquired, why is that a bullish thing? Like, wouldn't you think that if you don't know who the potential buyer is, that would actually not necessarily be the best thing?
Well, I think it's finally some news or catalyst happening, right? So people are trading that event. But I guess a new owner coming in, they're bringing in money. They have a plan for the project, and their goal is to try to turn it around. So you're betting, either you're short term trading it, or you're betting that they could turn it around. I mean, there was the acquisition recently of Lazy Lions, and I mean, it pumped. It's dumped, but it's still like it's holding above the original pump, right, by almost 3x. So people have like faith. I don't know who the buyers are of Lazy Lion. So it's exactly what you said. Like, who are these buyers? What are they going to do? I don't know. It's just this blind faith. Like, okay, they're going to do more than the previous founders who were doing
So
nothing.
so the question is, when there have been old projects that have been acquired in the past, have there ever been any projects that have been acquired that have been in like good, they've been doing well, right? Like, is it only projects that have been doing so shitty? So is it like holders and people in the market, they are looking at a project that's doing so shitty that literally anything can be better than what's currently happening with the project? Because I'm trying to think of it. I don't
I
know
mean,
if I can
Artifact and
recall
Nike.
what.
Artifact and Nike.
Okay.
They were doing
What
great.
else?
They sold out. Everybody was super hyped, and then Nike came in and bought Artifact when it was hyped.
Okay.
It wasn't like a dead project.
Okay. What else?
Yeah. I mean, there's investments. Like if you look at Yuga, like VCs came in and bought a good chunk. Is that like not an acquisition in a way? Like it is. They bought I don't know how much the team still holds, but that was a pretty big chunk. But those are last cycles, so I guess we can't really count them in recent times.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything's
recently.
been like dead projects that kind of got purchased.
Okay. So I think that holders of a lot of these projects might in the market might just say this project sucks so bad that any, like, I don't know. Like, I really just don't know.
Yeah, somebody asked here, what's Genesis Kaiju floor? It's 0.69.
But the thing is like, I don't think that Kaiju is doing that bad. Like, I think that, right? Like, I mean, from
Well,
what
they're down
I've,
pretty bad
but their
from all-time
community is
highs.
still,
They have a very strong
good.
community. They have
Their
a very
community, I
strong
mean,
community.
yeah, so like the thing is their community is really good, and like from what I can tell, people still rock them, and I never see Kaiju's FUD about like anything really on the timeline. So it's like they might be down bad in price, but they're not down bad in community at all. But also, I have no, I mean, I guess there's rumors of them being acquired. Like, I don't know. From my perspective, like, I get it. Like, they specifically have tried certain things, and like they've had like a couple different mints and whatnot, and they have like the mutant kaijus and like that kind of thing. So, and I haven't held one, so I don't really know. So this could just be me like talking out of my ass, but I just don't really feel like they from a sentiment standpoint are that bad.
No, I agree. Well, they have a very strong community. They have been building all this gaming stuff. I want them to do the Luca route, dude, and let me pull the other like these I want them to do toys. I think their toys would do really well. I want them to do more merch. I want them to expand their brand and try to break into Web 2 because they have a really strong brand in my opinion. Obviously, I mean, yeah, their community is still really strong, but people were down bad. Like, nobody was happy. The Genesis went down to like zero point 0.3 or something, and they were 1.6 ETH, and like there was no signs of life. So I like that there would be a new owner. They're going to be pushing really hard. I assume they're going to be launching a new token because when a new buyer comes in, they want that liquidity event and they want a token.
So there's a comment. Fujita said we need 9gag to acquire some of these previous blue chips. So we haven't really heard. I know that this has taken like a little bit of like a sidestep, but because we're talking about projects, we haven't really heard anything about Meme Land in a couple months. And what's funny is I don't know if you remember, but over the summer, everybody was posting these threads and they're like, here's how these projects have crushed branding and like all this stuff. And like Meme Land was always number one on that list. Now that was obviously before the meme token, and a lot of people were hyped about that. So I get that. But it's funny because I don't know about you. I have not seen anything or anyone mention anything about Meme Land on the timeline on Twitter for the past 3 months.
I mean, I still see it, right? Because I follow a lot of meme land community, so I see them posting stuff about me. But yeah, they've been quiet. They haven't announced anything. The captains are just holding steady, as are potatoes. Potatoes pumped all the way to 2 ETH though, and the MVPs are holding steady. Meme coin has pretty much been trading. It's up with the market, but it was trading kind of sideways, and now it's up with everything's pumping. So it's pumped. Yeah, I mean, I think they're just building, and I know that sounds weird, but I think they're actually building. They have a lot that's coming up. A lot of people are excited about stake land. So I think most projects are probably waiting for like blast and stuff like unlocks to happen, a lot of liquidity to come back in the market. Like I'm shocked we're getting some hyped mints before blast. We'll talk about mints coming up later, but like persona and stuff, like why not wait for post blast when all the money is just going wild?
Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of people. A lot of people and a lot of projects are kind of pushing back right now. They're not necessarily launching, which might be why we had a slow week. I think a lot of people are waiting for Blast. I know that there are not as many, but there are people that have money locked up in Portal. They have a lot of money that are just locked up in random like pre-sales and seed rounds and all that kind of thing. So it feels like there is a lot of money that's just tied up right now.
Yeah, somebody Fahad mentions here Memeland quest farming, which was their Twitter quest, is coming to an end, and they will soon launch Stakeland. I'm guessing maybe they'll plan that together because the quest farming they're going to be giving people tokens, so it's going to be a combination like, hey, here are your tokens, you could stake them or something. But dude, he brings up good points. I've been considering getting a bigger position. I still hold my Memeland assets from day one. I have meme coin, but I've been considering getting this could be a good catalyst for meme coin. So I'm gonna probably grab a bag of meme coin.
Yeah. I mean, this is normally the better time. Like if you do believe in Ray, this would be one of the better times to buy into, in my opinion, not financial advice, is
Hmm.
when nobody's talking about it, right? Because
Exactly.
because I remember, and this is actually something that we could talk about too. I know we're kind of like going off on a thing, but D Gods and Utes, I do remember that there was like a little bit of a lull there for a while when D Gods they it was they'd already launched for a while, but I think that like the holders wanted something and Dust was already out, like their token was out, and then boom, they decided to do Utes, and then it reignited everything. Dust mooned, D Gods went to 800 soul, and that was a big thing. But I do remember there was like that lull period, which honestly as well, I kind of feel like they're in that lull. They're in like a lull period again. And I do think that like a lot of it is because from what I've seen, like there's been a lot of like un there's been a lot of hype that hasn't necessarily met the expectations of just people in general.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, we could talk about the D gods thing later. Uh, but yeah, no. I mean, dude, I've just
Sure.
been waiting. Meme land. I have faith. Like the whole meme, trust in Ray, trust in Char. I just have full faith.
I feel that. Then we'll circle back.
Yeah, we got Teddy's. We got some Solana projects. So there was a mint this week, which was the Marms mint. Let me pull that up here. Yeah, Marms actually did good, dude. It's a 2x and it's holding. I noticed, like, dude, a lot of this is to me. I mean, oops, I got the wrong screen up. This is the problem with a lot of mints in general, but Sol, like, dude, they go to zero so fast. Unfortunately, I don't think I told you I'm holding a Teddy, bro. I bought it for the
No,
gem.
you didn't tell me.
I was buying for gems, and then I had listed it, and it made it like point one soul, right, or like 0.02. Because when you list on Magic Eden, it puts a higher price than what you list at because of the fees. And so I'm
Right.
still holding one from like two Solana buy. These are down so bad, dude. And it didn't sell, so I'm guessing it's not a rare because I had immediately listed it before they revealed. But yeah, the founder pretty much coming out, and what a formal letter, dude. Wow, how professional. I get much better received since he gives us a formal letter. But yeah, he's basically saying like, hey, I'm leaving after 3 days of my project being live. I can't deal with this. So he pretty much bounced from the project. I also saw Fidgetals. Somebody was saying, nice engagement post down here. They're offering him 100K to buy the project. They're going to do like toys with it if this is true. An ape here, NFT Drew, brings up a good point. Like, why give them $100,000? Why are you buying this? That's something that always, and that goes back to the acquisition question. I understand from an established brand, but like something so new like this, unless you're getting their treasury as part of the deal and you're taking all that money to put in the project, like you have to sign a contract. 100% of these funds have to go into the project. Like, why buy this? It's not like the project has been around for a long time. It's not like they did months of marketing. They did like a month or whatever of marketing, and then they revealed art, and that's it. Like, and the project's down bad. So what's the value in buying this and taking it over? I don't know. What's your opinion on them? It is what it is. They rug the project. I don't know if he's keeping any money. I assume he had expenses. He's going to want to pay back, and who wouldn't want to pay themselves a bag? Like, dude, even if I rug I'd want to pay myself a bag. I wouldn't care. Like, who wouldn't want to make a bag? So what's your opinion on all this?
I just think that this is quintessential Web3 just overall. Like this is how it is. And I think we see this a lot in shit coins, right? Like there's a lot of people that they do launch these things and then they just abandon them. Like they go into it with the mindset of like, I'm going to leave this. And but they don't tell other people that. Like they go into it telling everybody, yes, like this is going to be great. But in reality, they have no plans for it, which is why I've mentioned in the past, like there's a lot of founders in this space that they don't want to be successful. Like they only want to deceive people. And I think that that's what this situation was personally. Like I think that this was the perfect example of someone who just wanted to launch something and get a bag. But the difference is this happens in NFTs all the time. This happens in Web3 all the time. I think the timing of it was it's like you just ripped the band-aid off way faster, right? Like that's how it is. There's a lot of other people that like at least like if they get their bag, they'll stick around for like 6 months and then they'll be like, oh, like, I need a mental health break or, I need to like take, time off. But I just think that like this guy showed his true colors like way quicker, which in all honesty is probably better because at least like you save people a lot of time. But it just goes back to like the initial issue, which is like you really just can't trust a lot of these people. And that's why I take what a lot of people say with a grain of salt in this space, because it's just I've seen way more people come to me and tell me that their project was going to be great and rug, like 99% of people. And then I've had like 1% like actually come to me and be like, dude, I'm gonna like crush this. And then they do.
Yeah, or they tell you what floor their project. We're estimating we're going to be at a 10th floor, and you're just like, yeah, okay, buddy. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't think everybody goes in it with like this malicious intent. Obviously,
No,
they're
not
thinking like,
everyone.
I'm going to make a bag. I think a lot of people think it's so easy to launch a project.
Well,
Dude, even launching.
it's not hard to launch a project, right?
But it is, dude. Marketing is very hard. Getting hype, even if you're launching a meme project with no value, it's still hard to get the attention. You need the right combo of stuff. You need a good marketing team. You need good art. it's not the I've seen, dude, I have friends who tried to launch like shit coins or random NFT projects and it doesn't work. Like there is a formula, there is an art to doing it, and doing it right. So it's not the easiest thing. But once you make for the money, if you're able to pull it off, yeah, it's a lot of money compared to the work that you're doing. But I think a lot of people go into it thinking, yo, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a community. And they are overwhelmed with the amount of work it takes, with the way people react and treat you. Like people treat you horribly, dude. I feel bad for some of these CMs that are just inundated with mean messages and like, you didn't give me spots and all that stuff, or just being tagged every day. Like, dude, we even get it for our groups. Like, hey, can I join? Hey, can I join? Like somebody does they join our chat, they immediately tag us. Like, is this a membership group? Imagine a project just all day. How do I get whitelist? How do I get whitelist? So I think people are just overwhelmed and they don't know how to handle it.
Well, I also think that that comes with lack of preparation on their part. Like if you go through everything, you say it's an art, right? Which it is. You launch a project and then it's like if you don't have a plan, then yeah, I can imagine. If you don't have a plan, if you don't have a team, then I can yes imagine that it could be frustrating, right? But it's like when you do any venture, like you have to have some sort of idea and plan on how to move on and how to handle things. No doubt. I agree. And I think that that's where like a lot of people lack is I think a lot of people just are like, oh, well, I want to mint something. And then they do. And then they just think that the community is just going to handle it. And it's like, that doesn't always happen or really doesn't ever happen. And especially now, and this is what's happening, is that people are a lot less interested in joining new communities because we've been burned, like because we've felt this. So it's like what a lot of people want to do is like they will go join the good communities that are out there, the ones that are established with proven leaders so that they can park their money in a safer place and they can be a part of a community that they feel has been around and that they like and that isn't going to rug them. And then whenever there's a new project, like people are very weary and skeptical, and that's what leads to like a lot of flipping.
Yeah, here we have a good question. Instead of acquiring a project that's essentially rugged, why not start fresh with their own initiative? I guess it's like taking over a business that you think you could turn around. It's a lot of work to think of a brand and a name and art and everything. They're just like, hey, I could probably turn this around. I'll buy it. A buddy of mine launched a meme coin. It's been extremely hard to get traction. It's difficult getting listed on. You need to reach a certain market cap to get listed on a lot of places. But yeah, it's a lot harder than people think it is.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah,
a
it
lot
is.
harder. Anyway, let's keep going here. Pull up the screen. Boom. Monolith, dude. Monolith were finally distributed. Neither of us got any. We were not chosen.
Nope.
Any thoughts on Monolith? There's a little bit of activity here. We have some sales. What do you think about these sales? 12, 21, and 24, let's call it.
So in our last show, we predicted that the floor would be somewhere around five or no less than that, like two to three, right? Wasn't it?
Three
Like
to four, I think. But yeah,
yeah,
whatever. Five
and
or
that
less.
we would have swept at that price because like going into the next mint, like it was something that we were thinking about that it could be like a potential trade. I'm looking at this right now, and my thing is that there's an 11 WETH offer currently available. 120 people had these. I know I saw some people post about it. Like, wasn't this free?
Yes.
Who's not taking like a free? You know what I mean? Like this to me, I have like a hard time. I have a hard time like thinking about like I will say this, like I did not get whitelist for this, but if it was something that was free and it had an 11 WETH offer on it, dude, I would be fucking clicking on that button right now.
Yeah, I
Which is
mean, I guess.
maybe why I didn't get it.
Yeah, yeah. So let's just be real, right? If you look at these trades, they're clearly wash trading, right? Especially this one. Here's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 120 hand chosen people, right? Based
Right.
on their Twitter, their wallet activity. I went through a lot of the wallets in analytics. There's a ton that are real people. Some people that I know, people from Underground, from Momentum, stuff like that. There's a lot of wallets that are fresh wallets that are funded from exchanges that have never done trades ever. Like if you look, especially the first one from this Wuhan crab guy, like this is a brand new wallet. Unless I guess one one of the possibilities is he submitted a burner that's never been used. But like if not, who is this? How did this person win? His wallet is blank. He doesn't have his Twitter link. We don't know who he is, and he just sells it to another blank wallet that was fun. It's fresh and it's funded from an exchange. So they're and every single project does wash trading, by the way. Every single project manipulates their floor. So I'm not like attacking them. I think that was, it's part of their strat. They're trying to establish a strong floor for the Genesis in order for they're going to do a launch for their next one. And I'm guessing it's going to be a paid mint. So like, if you look, oh my God, the Genesis is selling for 24 ETH. Their paid mint that's only going to be like whatever 0.2 or Dutch auction or whatever it's going to be. It must go to 1 ETH plus. I think that's the game they're trying to play. If so, I think this is not how you do it. As for the people chosen not taking this offer, I think they'd had interviews and stuff. So they probably spoke like, hey, do you want to be a long-term holder? There's probably some handshake agreements that people aren't going to crush their floor, which again, a lot of projects do. People just don't know this kind of stuff. But I think, dude, if you're going to wash trade it, like I would have done exactly like we said, open it, sell some, keep 20 for the project itself. Don't tell anybody you're keeping it. Put it in whatever wallets. Like, dude, I have a bunch of wallets that nobody knows and they have a ton of activity. They look like real wallets. And I don't know, put it in those wallets, sell them for 3, 4, you're making, instead of giving it for free, you're making 3 to 4 ETH per NFT, sell those. And like I was ready to sweep, you were ready to sweep. There would be a ton. Yeah, there'd be more volume than 57 ETH volume right now. And it would be healthy volume and it would look real, as opposed to now it's just like, are people really buying this? Did somebody really buy this for 24 ETH? I don't know. I find that really hard to believe based on how little we know. We know nothing. We haven't seen gameplay. We don't know anything. So I just find it hard to believe that they're selling for this much and there's only 3 sales and 120 people. I don't know. It just looks manipulated. I still like the project a lot. I still am bullish on PlaySomo. I just think the way they're handling this, I'm not a fan of how it's being handled at all.
So the thing is like we realize that there's a lot of projects that are being market made. It's not
a majority, more than less of the successful ones. Yeah.
It happens in crypto. It happens in NFTs.
It happens in web 2 all the time.
It happens everywhere. Like that's not being disputed. But it's like it's different when you have like a couple different data points, like 3 data points, and you can just be like boop, look, boop, look. It's like it's too easy to research, where it's like if there were 100 of these, like 100 like back and forth, or even like 50, like I feel like it would be like a little bit less skeptical, right? Or questionable. It would just, because you'd be like, okay, like maybe a couple of these, like, because I still look at some projects and like they're pretty whatever, they're big and they get wash traded, and I'm like, yeah, that was a wash trade, but there's some real sales in here too. And so yeah, the thing about this that I wonder, and this is the question, is like, what is, because we don't know this and we won't know this because the floor is 69 ETH, but it's like, what is the fair market value of this? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody listed for 10 ETH, like I don't know if that's fair market value. What if somebody, or even more reasonable, what if it was like 4 ETH? Like the thing is like a week ago would have potentially bought one at 4 ETH because I thought that like, oh, that might be like a good opportunity. But it's like, we don't know who else is really out there willing to pay that, because there's just no data here. There's nothing to go off of. So it like makes me, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I didn't get one. I would have swept, but now it's obviously I couldn't do anything anyway. So it really,
and if you look at like, this is one of the wallets that bought for 20 ETH. Like he's been AFK for 1 year. All of a sudden he comes back and he spends 21 ETH, and he links to a Twitter, and this is a burner Twitter. Like it's not a real Twitter. So yeah, overall, I don't like the activity. But again, I'm still bullish on the project. H8 here says Somo will be free to mint. I keep hearing this. I'm not sure if that's the case. If it is, that's awesome. That's great. And forget everything we just said. Okay. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. W flipped. We had this on our list, just showing, there's still trades on ETH on the second. ETH feels like kind of dead lately. But yo, there's still trades to be made, dude. You put this on our list, so you go for it.
Yeah, so I put this on our list because Cyrus, who a lot of people know, he is an on-chain Chad. That's his thing. Like he spends a lot of time focusing on NFTs, loans. He's constantly looking at Blur. He catches a lot of these things super early. So when you see people post about like, oh, this NFT sold for 30 ETH, thoughts, like he like pretty much created like this whole thing because that was his thing is he would just see something immediately and he would just tweet about it. And so what's interesting is that we've talked about Bored Ape Yacht Club in the past, right? And in the comparison to Pudgy, like Bored Apes are kind of, you know, they're on a decline, they're kind of free falling, right? And then you have Pudgy Penguins, which is kind of topping right now. Where'd you go? Anyway,
I'm
so
giving you your spotlight.
so so okay. So anyway, it's interesting to see this because this tweet, which is not on the screen anymore. So this Bored Ape, right? It's sold for 40 ETH after being bought for 28 ETH. That is actually crazy because there really haven't been that many above floor sales at all for Bored Apes. For example, my favorite trait in the yacht club is Cyborg, and I always loved it. And during last bull, those had like a 40 ETH, 50 ETH premium. You could not touch a Cyborg. It was one of like, in my opinion, like one of the most coveted. Obviously, like like you have Trippy and Gold, which are more. But when you talk about like aesthetically pleasing and like really cool traits, I like that one a lot. And last week you could get one for 1 ETH over floor. And so my thing on this, and this is the question, is was this due to the market or was this some buyer who looked at it and said, I want this specific one and I don't care that I'm overpaying for it? Because we have that. That is part of life. Like, you know that in life there are certain things that you just want and you say, yeah, this is maybe worth $100, but you know, I'm willing to spend 200 for the one that I want, right? Like that just happens. And so my question to you, and we don't know this because we don't know the buyer, but like, do you think that this was because somebody wanted it, or do you think that this was because somebody is looking to eventually then move this again?
Let's go. It's the teeth, right? That are the rare trait. Rainbow
I
teeth.
think so. Yeah.
Let's go find what the floor is. I mean, maybe it was just there's no rainbow teeth. Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute to find it. Yeah, I think
It's
overall just
it's called multicolored.
multicolor. Okay, good. Multi. Yeah, I mean the floor is high. I'm guessing. I think it was just undervalued. Like if it was that close to the floor, I'd have to find. I wish Blur had better filtering for trait sales, but yeah, I'm guessing it was. It could be. I mean, it looks pretty clean, right? With the background color. I love the red hat on this background color. So maybe somebody is
Well, that
rocking it as a
hat,
PFP.
the hat is also a rare,
Rare
like a
trait. Yeah.
rare, like people want that hat, like the
Mhm.
merch hat.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be either, but I think it was just a good flip overall based on the floor and what people are potentially willing to pay for that.
Yeah, the only reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it's interesting because I think that we used to see, you know, if you're watching this, like you've been around, like you know what's up, and we've seen, and I actually saw that there was a pretty high Doodles buy as well. I don't know if you saw that. I believe it was an ice cream cone doodle that sold for a bunch. I'll try to pull that up, but we used to see that all the time. Like that was what everybody dreamed about in NFTs. It's like the floor is 1 ETH, but you have a rare and you flip it for 30. And then you just so happen to mint an NFT that was rarer than like all the rest. And there's a lot of people, Cyrus, a lot of other people that like I know that their entire thing was trait flipping. Like they only cared about trait flipping because there were people that had above floor illiquid NFTs and they were like that mid rare where it was a little bit harder to get instant liquidity if you needed it. And so people would sometimes be willing to go down on whatever it was worth. And then they would obviously sell it. And then these other people would hold out for another buyer that was willing to pay fair market value. So I don't know. It's just weird because we don't really see this a lot. And to see like a premium of about what 10, 12 ETH on this was interesting because it hasn't happened that often recently at all.
Mm. And I want to address a comment here. Please don't be bullish on a project to manipulate floor like this, Gorilla. If we don't support these kinds of activities, this would be harder for the next cash grab. Well, one, like we said, pretty much most projects play with their floor. It's really common also in crypto. Like a bunch of crypto projects are manipulated all the time. Sometimes it's just to keep a healthy floor, not to pump it, just to keep it stable. And even in the stock market, like, dude, how often, if something happens, if there's big news in the stocks, they freeze the stock. They don't allow trading. That, to me, that's manipulation on both ends, the news and then that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm here to make money. So if I know somebody's going to pump their floor, like, why wouldn't I get in on that? I don't know. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving into Bitcoin, we have a few things. This back to DeGods. We have Frank here saying Bitcoin DeGods, lock the F in. Ruins season is upon us. So Ruins being launched by Casey, which is going to be launching in April. Casey, the creator of Ordinals, and this is going to allow for shitcoins to be traded on Bitcoin, amongst other things, I guess. But yeah, so I guess Frank, they decided, hey, DeGods is going all in on Bitcoin.
Well, those minted a while ago.
Yeah.
So they minted over a year ago. I believe it was last February. And I also know that they pumped. So you could pull that up if you want. But yeah, Bitcoin DeGods are at 0.55, which is what, $28,000. And the floor of regular DeGods are like what, 8-9K. So obviously there's a lot less of these, but I don't know what these ever, like what these were for, right? Like I've never seen anybody that, well, I guess they have like very similar art, but like I've never seen anybody that it was talking about these. I don't know what they get. And to me, it's like, is the utility of DeGods as a whole just to jump from chain to chain over and over again? Like, because like what they, this, like they did it with Utes and then DeGods and then now this, and it's like, is it really for them just to stake a claim on different chains and just be there? Like, we're like, legitimate question.
I think so. No, I think a lot of so first let's address DeGods. I think DeGods, I feel they're playing catch up a lot lately. I feel they had all the hype. They were really excited. They tried some stuff with their what was it, like their gamification, where they gave away prizes and they put money there, and they kind of just fell off, right? They did the art, and now they've all been, like, we were joking about this. They're basically going through rebrands. We go through this all the time. Like, hey, I think I should do a rebrand, and then you get excited about a new brand, and then it takes a really long time to do, and you realize, yeah, I shouldn't have been putting time into a rebrand. I should have been putting time into trading or whatever, bringing value. I think that's what they went through. That's what they go through with their art. They put all this money, effort, time into changing their art, and it's like, it's cool for like a day, and everybody's sharing the art on Twitter, and then it disappears, and it's like, okay, where's the real value though? So I think that's what they go through. So I feel they're playing catch up, and they're behind now, and they lost their prestige. As for as for their Bitcoin collection, I mean, that I feel Bitcoin in general is like this. Like, hey, it's for the art, it's for the culture, it's for Bitcoin. There's a lot less expectations when you launch a project on Bitcoin. I feel, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but so I didn't expect anything. I just thought, like, just like Godjira has a Bitcoin project. Like, cool, they're gonna try to add value when they can, but I'm not expecting it to be like their main collection. And at one point, you have DeGods, you have Utes, you have Bitcoin DeGods. Like, how are you supposed to take care of all these things when you have too much going on? DeGods has to be their core, and then I would say Utes, since they have way more holders. Bitcoin DeGods was more just like, hey, we're on Bitcoin, that's it. So I mean, it's cool that he's trying to add value now with Ruins. I don't know what he's going to be doing. I guess he's going to be launching a shitcoin or a token related to his project. Oop, lost it here. Boom. But yeah, I never had any expectations for a lot of these Bitcoin projects. I was just like, yo, it's art on Bitcoin. Buy it if you want it. Hope number goes up.
Yeah, agreed. I guess like I'm still trying to wrap my mind because I've listened to a lot of D God stuff, and I'm trying to wrap my mind around what what is D Gods? Like without I don't know what
It's
else
a
to say.
vibe, bro. It's a vibe.
Yeah,
Fahad here, bringing the alpha today, says these were burned DGods on ETH that were then inscribed on Bitcoin in the early days. Okay, so these were, I guess, dead gods or like they were burnt. They were burnt.
yeah, I remember that.
Hmm. But yeah, dude, I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know, but I wouldn't be able to answer that for many projects, to be honest.
True,
Yeah.
which is
Um,
fair.
Yeah. Moving on, keep going into for ordinals. Let's we got Quantum Cats taking a dip, dude. They've their all time high, I think, was 0.35 Bitcoin. You had some amazing trades on these, dude. You crushed it, and now they went all the way down this week to 0.16. I know, and if T-Boy was trying to snipe that one, unfortunately he didn't get it. But we have them down under 0.2 now, and I think a lot of this has to do with okay, I listened to that 2 hour Twitter space. I listened on 2x, so I listened to 1 hour. Okay, I get it. I'm gonna join a lot of these Bitcoin spaces, but dude, I can't deal with a lot of these spaces, especially when they're having like a non-serious conversation about something. I'm just like, oh my god, I can't deal with this. But I think the price is going down because they kind of crushed a lot of the speculation. Um, so some of the things that were said for literally 1 minute. So I listened to 2 hours for 1 minute of content. The wizards. So one of the theories was that you know how these are evolving art, and I wanted to show you a cool one here. Notice that this one kind of looks like a mouse, does it? And there's two
Yeah,
of these in the collection. People are calling these the might. It's like a grail, even though it's going to evolve and it's probably going to change. Um, yeah, people are just finding like cool traits as the art evolves. So I like the evolving art thing. And your piece, you might love your piece and it might evolve to something you hate. So that's something interesting. But one of the theories was that your quantum cats are eventually going to evolve into wizards, which they said makes absolutely no sense because the wizards are already inscribed and there's only 2,000. I think it's like 2,121 wizards. There's 3,333 cats. So that can't work. You can't get one wizard per cat. So some people would get left holding the bag. And then the other thing people said was, oh, maybe cats are going to evolve into like more wizards. It's the supply is going to become 5,000, or it's going to be like a wizard Gen 2 collection or something. Even though Gen 1, I think only like 40 wizards, or I don't know how many wizards have been handed out, but not that many in a year. Their 1 year anniversary was actually, I think, last week since they first inscribed. But so that was one of the theories that they also said, yeah, no, they said quantum cats. So basically, there was something called OpCat in the original Bitcoin code or something. And then Satoshi pulled it out because there was a lot of risks involved to it. But since over time, they've addressed those risks. And now you can actually do, or so they claim, you could do OpCat. So they're trying to revive this protocol that would allow for, I guess, I'm butchering it, right? But I guess it makes Bitcoin more like a layer 2, like ETH, where you can run a bunch of dApps, or it makes it easier to do that or something. Because if you haven't noticed, doing a lot of things on Bitcoin is not ideal. It takes a lot of time and stuff. So and they said, so that's OpCat. That's the short name, OpCat. And these are the cats. So it's quantum cats that are meant for OpCat. So it wouldn't make sense for them to evolve into wizards because these are supposed to be cats. And the whole idea is that they actually do this soft fork for OpCat and that they make history on Bitcoin. They revive Satoshi's original dream of OpCat. Therefore, people who hold quantum cats are part of that vision or part of that dream or part of that revolution. So that's what this collection is. It's not supposed to be like a money play for wizards and for you to like make gen wealth because now it leads into wizards. They're saying no, this is about making history and about changing Bitcoin for the good. That's what this whole thing is. So the price took a dip because people heard like, oh, no money, okay, bye. They're not here for the revolution. They're here for their wallets, which fair, you're allowed. So they took a little bit of a dip, but I still think, especially if these keep trickling down, I do think these become a buy at one point. I see you smiling there. What's up?
so this was just a $14 million history play, is what you're saying?
Well, they're funding their company, right? It's kind of like if you want to, that's what they addressed also, where's the money going? And it's going to funding their company to make Bitcoin better. Like, dude, Udi and all the guys have been in Bitcoin since like 2012. These guys are early adopters. They even said like most of us have been in Bitcoin early. We don't need the money. Like they made their bags off of Bitcoin. Like they're chilling. Obviously, who doesn't want to make $14 million? And they had the VC raise. The VCs want to make money. So the VCs are happy that they raised $14 million. And they're probably going to charge. That's the other thing. People were like, oh, we're going to get wizards for free. Like, no, they're going to want to make another 14 mil just. But no, they're funding their company and they're using that money to hire more people and to bring OpCat to life, as well as whatever else they have. I've never spoken to Udi. Like I listen to One Spaces and now I'm acting like I know the whole project, but they're just trying to fund their company like most NFTs do. They sell you NFTs. Like what's Overworld? They made how many million, and they're going to use that to fund their game. So yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought, but Captain did bring up Captain Y, my homie, bring up a good thing about. He said, so one, just because they said that's not what's supposed to happen doesn't mean you're not going to get whitelist if you hold a cat. Maybe they will do like, oh, you hold 5, yeah, you can get a whitelist. I know right now they're doing the whole questing system, but maybe one of the quests is going to involve a cat. We don't know. And I noticed Captain noticed there's this trait of the state dead and alive. And I guess maybe it's 50-50, or maybe it has something to do with the evolution, but maybe there's going to be something like you need to collect both a dead and alive cat or something. Like, I do think it makes sense that they put this into their quests and it's going to increase your odds, but I don't think it's going to be like a 1-to-1 or like hold 3 cats and here's a whitelist. And I hate that Magic Eden does this, dude. It acts like there's no listings and you just have to mass refresh.
Here's my thing. I don't think that there's any way that the cats don't get some sort of whitelist access to this. But
Or
I
benefit.
think
No direct access,
or
but benefit. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that there will be something, and I think that it's better to play it down early instead of saying yes, right? I think it's you could say like, oh, this is just for the history, this is just for the vibes, right? And then you just kind of let people do their thing, and then you say, oh, all right, like maybe we heard the community's like thoughts, and we wanted to add something in, and we wanted to that kind of thing, like just go out and say that. So I mean, maybe they don't get anything, maybe they do, but it's still a part of the ecosystem, right? So yeah, look, if so far they're doing good. I mean, they're very expensive. They're 0.2 Bitcoin. Like they're a lot of money. But yeah, that community is really strong. And while I do think that like this iteration of the art is kind of weird, right? Like this evolution, because a lot of these look pretty strange for sure. So
yeah. I pulled it off screen as you're talking about it. My bad. It's some funky art, definitely. But no, dude, at one point, these definitely become a buy, because I think even just for us, like maybe not people in the audience, but for us, I think it's good for us to have some exposure to a lot of these Bitcoin projects and get in with these communities. So yeah, at one point for us, these are definitely going to become a buy. What that price is, I don't know, but
yeah.
Moving on, dude. Another Ordinals one that I missed the boat on. I've been shopping these since 0.4, dude. I would have made, every one I bought, I would have made 20 grand for. Oh, dude, this is a clean one. Yo, I like this. Wow. Nobody buy it. Dude, Green Eyes, I don't even think they announced it, but it was leaked, right? Or not leaked, but everybody just found it on being inscribed. They're Orange Eyes. These absolutely ripped. Because of people know there's the upcoming Orange Eyes. The Orange Eyes, I think in both of our opinions, let me just get it fully on screen here. The Orange Eyes look absolutely amazing. In my opinion, this is their best art yet.
So sick, dude. They're so cool.
Yeah. A lot of good looking pieces. Obviously, there's going to be some flaws, but I think a lot of them look great. They did some, what is this? They did some wild stuff really going out. Obviously, there's some political ones, which always worries me. There's like this one, which I think is a banned image in China. The dude standing in front of the tank. There's the Kennedy assassination. There's like one with Gary Gensler. There's some more political ones, which that stuff kind of worries me. Um, obviously not as bad as like Jungle Freaks, but here's the Gary Gensler one. That stuff kind of worries me. But I like that's their vibe. This whole collection is like fight the power, or however you call it, uh, like against the system. Against the Matrix. They're Neo, and they're fighting the Matrix. So I like the connection, dude. The collection. I've been shopping an OMB for a while now. I really regret not buying. What's your play here? How are you going to treat? I've been debating getting into a Green Eyes, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just wait. Even though these could pump to 1 Bitcoin, I think there's going to be a dip after the Orange Eyes comes out, and I think that's when I'm going to get in. And then for Orange Eyes, what's your play for Orange Eyes?
Yeah, I think 1 Bitcoin is programmed.
Yeah,
I think
for green.
Yeah, for these. I think it's hard to buy right now because we've watched them go up so much. And so it's like hard to get that very comfortable position. If they do announce, kind of like what we were just talking about, but like if they do announce that Green Eyes gets whitelist to Orange Eyes, I think that these could potentially even go all of, way over 1 Bitcoin. It could go to like 1.2, which would be insane. I'm of the same mindset. Like, and I know we're probably gonna talk about Persona again, but like there's 2 projects that I'm very much so looking forward to sweeping. And it is Orange Eyes when they launch. I am not kidding when I tell you, like, I'm going to sweep the fuck out of them. I'm probably not gonna get whitelist for them. They're not gonna do collabs, like they don't do that kind of stuff, right? Like I'm sure that maybe they're handing out individuals here and there, but yeah, like I've already like I didn't get whitelist for Green Eyes, so I probably won't get whitelist for Orange Eyes either. And I'm just gonna sweep them. Like I've seen this happen before. The community is too strong. The art on Orange Eyes is, in my opinion, way better than the rest that they've done. So yeah, I could see a lot of people that are also OMB maxis that they might end up like minting one that they don't like, and then they might go out and like on the floor go buy an Orange Eyes that they really want. So I think that there's going to be a really strong secondary market for this, and I'm just going to sweep these. And then same thing with Persona.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna sweep, but like we'll see where they are because most collections do get a dip, except I guess for cats. Cats just pretty much just ripped. I mean, now they've dipped, but they pretty much just ripped. I think the ZK Shark is very smart. I think he has a lot of things planned, at least from what I heard. Like I've never met him, or we've chatted once. Our only chat was when I said, "Yo, can I get a whitelist for Green Eyes?" And he said, "Yeah, sure. Just go buy a blue and a red eyes for 3 Bitcoin," which I respect, dude. That was a gangster answer. So good on him. If other projects tell me that, you guys can F off. But for him to tell me that, I respect it. Yeah, dude, there's such clean ones. Like I'm looking for a PFP. I would PFP obviously based on the one I got, but I would be shopping for one that I could put as my PFP or multiple, and then I could just rotate them. Like I need to start collecting ordinals because I do believe in it, especially for this next run. I think ordinals are going to be massive. So I need to build a good portfolio of ordinals, and there's some really cool ones in this collection. I don't want to reveal which ones I'd be trying to snipe, but I have a few like that I've saved on the side that I'm going to be looking for on the secondary market. But yeah, great project. Same thing, Persona. The art looks amazing, which doesn't mean any. I think that's good within the first few days. We typically get everybody how we know how it rolls, right? Everybody's sharing their art for the first 2 days, just like they're doing now, talking about how amazing the art is. I don't think we've seen any 1-of-1s either. Have you?
Of this?
Persona, yeah.
No, there
Okay,
hasn't
yeah.
been anything rare.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure the rares look. I'm hoping the rares look fantastic. They have an amazing art team. Like the art on this is amazing. I think here's what's going to happen. Everybody in the first few days is going to be sharing, or everybody's going to be sweeping. It's going to play on secondary. They're going to reveal. Everybody's going to be sharing for 48 hours. The timeline is going to be nothing but Persona, and then after that, we'll see what happens. I mean, we've seen a ton of dude for Valhalla, right? Everybody was sharing their art. The floor 2 or 3x from 0.5 to 1.3x to 1.5. Everybody was sharing like their mechs and all the different ones that they had, and now the project's just down bad. So I think long term, I don't know what this project has in store for us. Like Where's the money? Because that's what happens, right? Okay, the art's great. Yeah, it's cool. Everybody put it as a PFP. Now, where's the money? So that question I don't have an answer to, but to um, to trade them and definitely into reveal. How long does it reveal? I have no idea. I don't think they've revealed the reveal mechanics.
No info.
Um, yeah,
We
I
don't know.
agree. So
We don't know mint. Sorry. Good.
no, I'm just reading comments. So go for it.
Yeah, we don't know mint. We details. We don't know when the reveal is. We don't know pricing. We don't know really anything. All we know is that it is likely going to be next week. So no, I don't know the artist. I don't know the mint price or the date or the structure or like anything like that. I do. The only thing that we do know is that there was a pre-sale and there's whitelist, but the rumor is that they're going to have an additional format, but I don't know what that's going to be yet because
I
we
heard.
just don't
I'll
know.
just say I don't give. I heard it's auction. I heard they're doing auction. I don't give a shit, bro. I heard it's 2K white pre-sale and whitelist, and then the rest is 8K. Yeah, somebody even said it here. Boom. Yo, Fahad coming in with the alpha, bro. Yeah, we gotta
Unconfirmed.
airdrop him stuff. Unconfirmed. Somebody leaked mint details. This is what I heard. 6K public auction. So I think this is really going to affect. We're down to sweep. It just depends what's the auction price, and then what does it sell out at, and then what are they going to go to? You know, if they do an Age of Dino and it's like a 0.6, I still do see these going above 1 ETH though. So I think it's fine.
I'm gonna say this right now. Okay. I really hope that it isn't like the Sky Arc. The Sky Arc, you remember that raffle where it was like you deposit money and then you just like win? Like, or you don't, like it's just like like a raffle essentially, like type of thing where you have to deposit money. I have a feeling that that is what it's going to be. So whatever, but it could also be a Dutch auction. And I was talking to you last night on the phone about this. I don't care really what style it is. If I have to deposit 0.5 for this, I will into a Skyark style raffle. If it is a Dutch auction that starts at 0.5 ETH, I would also bid on that immediately with size. I will put a lot. Like I'm planning on going really, really hard on that. And so, but my thing is like, what if it's above 0.5 ETH? Then things get a little sticky because my thing in my head is I think that these can go over an ETH. I think that, and here's the difference. And this is my thought about this, is that I think that the thing that makes this project different, right? They have a team that has already done like a successful crypto venture before with their fantasy sports that they've done with Unagi. So like we can just say that right off the bat. We know that. But the thing here is that people love this art so much. People are saying that it is their favorite art over Azuki. Some people say that Azuki's their favorite. This is number 2, but I've heard that so many people are in love with this art. And my thing about this is, while I do think that it is going to be expensive, I really think from what I've heard that there's going to be a lot of people that go out and what they do is they change their profile picture to a persona. And I think you're going to have a lot of people that normally wouldn't be playing in the market buying things, and they're just going to buy one and change their profile picture to it. Another person's going to buy one. And I think that that's what's going to set this apart, is that I think that there's going to be a lot of individuals that maybe aren't traders that are going to be picking ones that they want, and then they're going to hold them. And I think that that might be the difference as to why this does well, at least within the first week. Anything after that, I don't really know.
Agreed. Yeah, no, I completely agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I hope the auction price isn't too high because people are going to full send it. We know it's selling out at the top of the auction. Obviously, you know, if it's 1 ETH, that would suck. There needs to be upside for traders. If not, it's going under floor because people are going to panic. If it's too expensive, people are going to panic, and it is going under floor. I mean, if you look at some of these other projects like Age of Dino, it is right at the floor price.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that it'll be profitable week 1 for sure.
Yeah, I just want to scroll back up. Somebody had asked me way before, and I wanted to answer it. Do I own a Bodago? Unfortunately, I don't. Easy told me to buy. He told me to sweep at 1 Solana. I just didn't have Sol. I didn't, and I missed out. I would have 10x on that play. Patrick Dang in the audience, what's good? Yo. Somebody here, Vince, saying, haven't watched Ask Robin for years. When did you get into NFTs? and Bitcoin. I used to play duos with you in Fortnite. Yeah, you got the homies rolling up.
See, I was a gamer. That's how people know. Even though the Web3 community doesn't believe me for some reason.
Yeah, somebody Bitcoin bang. I've never heard of Bitcoin. I want to make sure it's not Badgers. Bitcoin bangers. I'm not sure. All these projects trying to be pudgies. Just get a pudgy. Psst, that's the alpha, dude. I heard they have a lot of airdrops coming beyond just the dim one that they got. I know they're getting one for a blast project, that Wazi's project, Pump It. Even though I think it's 5% of the total supply, so I don't think it's going to be anything crazy considering the amount of pudgies. But I also heard like rumors about Layer Zero and some other airdrops that could be huge for pudgies. Zero Cool. What's good, Zero Cool? Appreciate you rolling up. I agree. Saw it with Valhalla. Then they crashed. Yeah, so they have to. I hope they have a lot of things planned in the future. That would do well. So I was just reading a message. Do you guys know the artist? I'm not sure who the artist is. Somebody in the audience said, it's you, Daddy Shill in the audience saying, I don't know if this is true, guys. So please don't hold this. The Spectre. He's saying it's the same artist for the Spectre. The art looks very different. The art for Persona looks way better than the Spectre. So I don't know about that. But no, I'm not sure who the artist is. Ash, do you know who the artist is?
No.
Jakku saying it's a high mint price. Well, I heard whitelist the mint, or for pre-sale it's 0.069, right? It's very cheap, and I think for whitelist it's the same. I have no idea what the auction price is, but I think it will be like up to 0.5 or something like that, personally. Which I think 0.5 it still does well. I think it goes to 1 ETH. You know what's funny? If the auction was like to 0.2. Then I would see the floor like 0.5 or 0.6. But if the auction was 0.5, then I see it like 1 ETH or something. Like, the higher the price sometimes, the higher the floor goes.
Dude, if this is at 0.2, if this is a 0.25 mint, this is going to 1.5 ETH.
If it's a 0.2, if the auction is up to like 0.2 or 0.25, there's absolutely no reason to do an auction. Just do a mint,
Yeah,
I guess you whitelist more people and.
Well, I think that they would do it just for the sake of like the mechanic, right? Like just so that when you do it, you can have like that raffle system in place. Mm-hmm. But I'm with you, because otherwise, if it was just like, oh, if you're just going to do a mint, then it's a bot fest. So I think it's like a little bit better if they decide to do an auction raffle thing. It's like, okay, you deposit 0.25 and then they'll take care of it so that somebody doesn't bought 500 of them. Right? Like that, I would not do.
Yeah, we both have to jump off. Let's just quickly go for the comments here. Way to God, hype is down. I mean, we full sent the pre-sale. I still think the odds that they go under the mint price, I still see are low. But yeah, obviously with people dumping, 2 whales dumped the floor, which sucked. But are you still holding your Bitcoin booze? Yes, sir. I am a proud community member. I didn't mint that one for the flip. I legit like the community. I like Butoshi, and like I'm happy to have his project. I don't think they're going to do at 0.5. I think you'd be surprised, sir. But yeah. Anyways, guys, we got to pull out. Both of us have calls that we're late for. Appreciate everybody who rolled up. We will be back here next Friday, same time, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Thank you for rolling up to episode 6 of The Moon or Dust. Let us know in the comments down below what you think. I forgot to ask you to hit the like button. Please hit that like button. Peace.